Just a few days after winning the European Football Championships in that thrilling penalty shootout over England, the Italians, well, they're still celebrating. And the Anglo-Italian rivalry continues here on the racetrack as well. An English driver has never won the world's most competitive junior motor racing series. But Ollie Beerman from Essex, now at the halfway point of the championship, he holds a 66-point lead in the series. Also on today's program, we'll check out the highlights from the second round of the WSK Euro Karting Series from Adria. So stay with us. The halfway point of the 2021 championship brings us to one of 5 current Formula One Grand Prix circuits on the 7-race calendar. This is Imola, which recently hosted the Amelia Romania Formula One Grand Prix, the world-famous track which has been on the calendar since the F4 series inception in 2014. Last year, Gabriele Mini claimed the 2020 title at this very circuit with a round in hand. This year it is too early for Ollie Beerman to do likewise, but he is the raging hot favourite for the 8th edition of the running of the world's most competitive junior racing series. The Englishman driving for the Dutch Van Amersfoort racing team comes off a sensational previous round at Vallelunga, where he took a hat-trick of wins to clean sweep the weekend. 30 cars on track for qualifying on a warm Saturday morning. Already the temperature was above 30 degrees Celsius and the track temperature 10 degrees more than that. Germany's Jonas Ried set the initial time to beat in Q1 ahead of the informed Sebastian Montoya and the Mexican Eric Zuniga. This was the circuit where Montoya had a monster crash in 2020. But that was a distant memory for the Colombian-American as he went P1 in Car 6 for the Prema Power team. It wasn't long though before Beerman picked up where he left off in Rome, responding to take pole position for race 1 with a time of 1:43.890. Then came Team Iron Lynx driver Leonardo Fornaroli. Montoya was third ahead of the Swiss-Austrian Josh Dufek, Kirill Smol and Nikita Bedrin, the Russians locking out the third row of the grid. A quick stop in pit lane for a new set of Pirelli tyres and Q2 was underway. Beerman again P1, this time ahead of Meyer Berg, who was consistently inside the top 6 throughout Friday practice. Fornaroli for Team Iron Lynx eclipsed his Iron Dames teammate Berg to go P2 ahead of Francesco Braschi, the Gensa Motorsport driver in P3, his best qualifying performance of the season. But again it was Beerman on pole position, and as if to intimidate his opposition further still, his second quickest time was good enough for pole for race 3 as well. It would be a daunting prospect for the other 29 drivers to see car 87, the series leader, start from pole position for all 3 races at Imola.
I managed to get out, find some clean track and just get the laps in. We really built on what we found in FP1 and FP2, so yeah, I'm really happy with the step the team made, and yeah, the car was faultless, so perfect.
Adria Raceway, the scene of the second round of the 2021 WSK Euro Series, following on from the first round of the championship held in April at Lonato, and on the first really warm weekend of the year with temperatures well above 30 degrees Celsius. Firstly, the 60 mini category is now wide open. After the two stars of the earlier part of the season, René Lammers and Gerasam Skulinov now are racing in OK Junior. Jindra Peschel, already leading the series after his win in the first round at Lonato, takes advantage of this, taking pole position and dominating the heats, only coming second in his pre-final behind Olivieri. Olivieri, who was slightly off the pace on Saturday, found it again in the pre-final. That pace enabled him to lead in the final from the start. Behind him, the pack is hunting him down, Peschel leading the charge. On lap 3, Bottaro slotted in behind Olivieri, whilst at the same time withstanding the attacks from Peschel, as Bottaro sat glued to the back of Olivieri. The Formula K driver has matured though in recent races, and when the pressure continues, he makes no mistake. On the contrary, in fact, as in the pre-final, he seems to have kept something in store for the last lap. One last breathtaking lap, with Bottaro's attack surprising Olivieri at the hairpin. But Olivieri is ready and responds with a pass that is worthy of victory. Bottaro pays dearly for the failed attempt, leaving room for Kostoya and Ivanikov to take the podium places, and also for Peschel and Alfie Slater to finish in positions 4 and 5. Bottaro is 6th, whilst Olivieri on the podium celebrates victory and the championship lead. In OK Junior, Koski Motorsport's David Valter's stunning speed would unfortunately end with a whimper. His breathtaking form, which included pole in qualifying and 4 heat wins, started to fade in the pre-final when he only finished 12th after utterly dominating all week. The final saw Keeble and Slater start on the front row, with Powell back on grid 6. And Rashid Al-Bahedi, the Supermaster Series champion and the series leader, was seemingly missing in action all weekend, unusually off the pace and out on the first lap of the final. On that first lap, Keeble makes his escape, but the Ricky Flynn Motorsport duo of Slater and Frey don't take long to close the gap and are back in the lead, firstly with Slater, followed by his teammate Frey, while Forza Racing's Mark Kostelic also joined the fight for the win, passing Frey in the last few laps for second place. Slater a very deserving winner, with Keeble only finishing 5th, but still managing to maintain a 26-point lead over his English rival going into the Euro Series final. Whether it's in the cold and rain of winter or the sun and the heat of summer, Arvid Lindblad is the man to beat in OK. Particularly if Rafa Kamara is absent and Andrea Antonelli is making his debut in KZ2. But more on that later. At times, Lindblad has often been his own worst rival, but not here in Adria. The final is a perfect example of that. He led from the start to the checkered flag. The few surprises of an almost action-free final are behind the English Red Bull Junior, with Timur Kuharczyk driving the Kubica kart on the limit, chasing down the Kart Republic driver, the pole ultimately finishing a deserving second. Third is Stensone, who was in superb form again all weekend. Ugachukwu, missing off the podium, is still second in the series, behind Lindblad in a weekend that never really saw the American fighting for P1. And speaking of races virtually void of action, in the traditional sense at least, Kramer's win in KZ2 was just that. Especially after his two closest rivals, Amelia and Pedro Hilbrand, were involved in a controversial moment on the last lap of the pre-final, which saw the French driver finish 3rd rather than P1 as he would have, and the inevitable and unarguable penalty saw Pedro having to start the final from the 11th row. Kramer's led the 20-lap final from the first corner to the last lap, in which he even recorded the fastest lap of the race as well. Behind him, the Birolart team were dominant, finishing 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Kramer's, Longhi, Piccini and Palomba, which is also now the championship standings. A final note on the 2020 WSK Euro Series OK champion Andrea Antonelli. It was his first ever shifter kart race. Indeed, his first home in a KZ kart was only in practice on Wednesday. His times were quick, but getting a 50 horsepower shifter kart off the line is not easy for even some of the world's best. However, it was a positive weekend, a positive start for Antonelli prior to making his debut in Formula 4 by the end of the year. The WSK Euro Series final is at the foot of the active volcano, Mount Vesuvius, the Sarno circuit in Naples on June 26 and 27. We'll see you then.
Of the grid, the 5 red lights. The first time this weekend we race. One car stalls at the back of the pack as the rest of the field avoid them. 2 cars, 3 cars in fact, as Biermann leads down into turn 1. Montoya on the outside of Fornaroli into Tamburello. Nice start from Ollie Biermann. Montoya goes up into second place. It's been a disastrous run for the girl from the Emirates. She started back in grid 25. We'll see where she comes ahead. Benz Verlint does likewise with Hansanu Fornaroli on the outside of Montoya. Locks the brake, goes straight ahead into the gravel. Fornaroli, a race winner earlier in the season, is off. There is debris in the background. It may in fact be part of the front wing. From Fornaroli, we've got another 2 cars off. One of the Van Amersfoort racing cars out. It's Benz Verlint. Has come together with it may well be Aaron Reczepi, and almost certainly we will have a safety car intervention on the second lap of the race. Generation Tartus F4 car, which yes does feature the halo. Humda, she's well outside the top 20, just hasn't found the pace. Fornaroli steps out of the car, and the Italian, the race winner, this has in 4 and 5. Sorry, 3 and 4. 5 is Dufek. Now the green flag flies. Biermann dictates the pace. He's already gone. And watch Small over the back of Montoya. Going slowly. Has he got a problem? He was attacking Sebastian. He's got no front wing. That's the reason why. A disaster for Kirill Small. Montoya in a Van Amersfoort racing sandwich, trying to attack the Englishman from Essex. Ollie Biermann, the championship leader, as Nikita Bedrin around the outside. Montoya, Bedrin, the former 2 Tony Kart drivers. Bedrin's got him. Montoya almost certainly with a problem. Races up the hill. Van Amersfoort Racing go 1, 2, 3. Montoya slows. The Colombian-American is about to roll to a stop. Now he's got drive ever so slowly once again. Slow to let the traffic through. Let's give him credit for that. As Dirksen goes around, Josh Dirksen goes around out of position 5. Let's go down to Antonio once again in pit lane. Crawford, the Texan who took the race victory here at Imola in 2020, racing with the Motor Park team in the Euro Formula Series this weekend. He'll hit the track later this evening. And of course, he's slow, he's pulling into pit lane, and the dream of a podium is over. He may have either suspension damage or a puncture. He accelerates. He went 3 from 3 at Vallelunga outside the eternal city of Rome. Make that 4 from 4. The championship leader dominates to take that checkered flag and win race 1 here at Imola this afternoon. Across the line in second place goes Nikita Bedrin. Josh Dufek, car 13, position 3. Van Amersfoort Racing.
Yeah, well, it's really good race now for me because I started P6, finished P2. Also, I managed the tires quite well, and looking forward for the next races. Yeah, congratulations to my team for finishing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Round 4, race 2 here at Imola. Biermann on pole position, and we race. One car has stalled mid-pack. Let's hope the field get through. It looked to be one of the Cram Motorsport cars. Thankfully, they all passed by without a problem. In fact, it was Eric Zorniga who does get going at the back of the pack. A clean start here this morning. I speak too soon because Montoya goes off the road. And also Kirill Small, the two Prema Power teammates, having a disastrous weekend so far. Biermann's gone. Fornaroli into second place, and Bedrin, another good start by the top Russian in position 3. Locks up on debut in the Italian F4 Series, runs off the road, but does rejoin, going wheel to wheel with Josh Dufek, who was on the podium yesterday but has not made a good start. Oh, it's getting messy further back in the pack. Montoya behind Conrad Larsen. The Dane just avoids the wall. And now Massimo Capieto from Josh Dirksen behind. There's Ben Svalin, there's Kirill Small in the SMP Racing Prema Power Team car, flying the flags of the flag of the Russian Federation. A better run this morning in the early stages of the race for Kirill Small. Behind him, Pietro Armani and Kasper Stuga. Josh Dufek, a three-time winner in the Italian F4 Championship, defends down into Rivazza 1. He's on the inside. Ben Svalint all over the back of the pink machine. They come onto the straight. Green, the difference now down to half a second. One of the grand competition cars going around at two of the Genza Motorsport cars off the circuit. Giorgio Marco Janis and Piotr Wisnicki at the replay. Dirksen, the South American, moves into position 4. There's Brasky going wheel to wheel with Kirill Small. Tries the outside, does the Russian, takes him. Nicely done by Kirill. Brasky tries to fight back down into Tamburello, side by side. This will be close, they make contact. Oh, launches, does Kirill. Again, these controversial pieces of concrete, which are placed on the side of Grand Prix circuits, almost destroyed the car of Kirill Small. Super start from Fornaroli, but he's now being attacked by Bedrin around the outside. Sebastian Montoya goes down the inside and tries to take Pietro Armani. The Colombian-American has gone through in the background. Nice restart by Sebastian, up into 7th place. Biermann under pressure. There is Fornaroli. Bedrin right behind. Josh Dufek has got by Josh Dirksen on the restart. Aaron Recepi for BVM Racing, and we also lose. Oh no, Josh Dufek. He rejoins but loses a ton of time. Recepi is still at the top. Two of the Genza Motorsport team cars go off, and almost certainly for the second time. And Kirill Small already trying to make up a place on Hans Hanyu further back. They race down the straight. As Biermann checks the mirror, stays to his left, to your right, Fornaroli around the outside. Can the Italian take the Englishman down into Tamburello? Ollie Biermann's got the line and holds position 1. There's Josh Dirksen. Oh, Kirill Small's off the road again. Rally cross from the Russian. So Bedrin just holding off Josh Dirksen. Ben tries to break the slipstream from Montoya, who dives down the inside. He will not lift. Montoya, only way is Essex. The English driver takes an incredible 7th victory in a row. The checkered flag waves. What a win for Ollie Biermann. He dominates again in the Italian F4 Championship.
I'm very happy for this podium. Yesterday, unfortunately, I had a problem on the front left wheel, but today I start second and I finish on the podium after 2 hard weeks. So I'm very happy, and I want to thank my team Iron Lynx and my family for this podium.
welcome you to the home of the Emilia Romagna F1 Grand Prix. For the final time this weekend at Imola, we race. Nice start by Biermann. Down the inside goes Nikita Bedrin, and it looks as though the Russian will go by and take Leo Fornaroli. Right behind him, Sebastian Montoya also moves past Fornaroli. Montoya up into third. The field raced down through Tamburello, and already ominously Biermann sets off, and he's got a nice lead after just 3 corners. The field make their way through. It is the Van Amersfoort Racing Team in 1 and 2. Bedrin in second spot, who took the title in 2016 with the Argentine Marcus Siebert. Francesco Braschi, a DNF this morning, was immensely disappointed with that. We'll be looking to fight back. We look further back in the pack. This was Zuniga getting all crossed up at the exit of Tamburello, just straight lines across the grass, stays off the wall and does rejoin. Maceo Capieto going through, going wheel to wheel with Hamza Alcobaisi just behind. Vittorio Catino for cram competition. This is Lorenzo Petrese with Kasper Stuka, and the pole runs out of road. Isn't it interesting we do not speak of track limits when it's self-policing, and Kirill Small goes around, and the disastrous weekend for the Russian continues. He's parked at the top of the hill. 144.997, breaks under the 145 second bracket. So he's 0.2 of a second faster than his teammate. Fornaroli gets a nice run on Sebastian Montoya as they climb the hill. Bedrin, the fastest driver on the circuit, 0.8 of a second behind his teammate. That's Praski going through. Further back in the pack, Meyer's been turned around. Ben Spalint and Conrad Larsen into the wall. We had a clean race until now. Meyer being parked at the exit of Alto Variante. Conrad Larsen, the 20 Prema Power Team car, is in the wall just as his teammate Sebastian Montoya keeps it out of the gravel. Loses the place to Fornaroli as Bedrin up into second place. Breaks clear of not Montoya, but now it's Fornaroli. He's in P3. It is likely we will have a safety car. For the moment, it is just a local yellow. But Conrad Larsen steps out of a destroy. Has actually caught up to the back of Bedrin and Biermann as this fabulous dive continues side by side down into Tamburello. Petrese holds the place. There is Zuniga behind. Wisniewski in the background. Samir Ben. And then the final lap as well. In fact, we may even have 3 to go. As Dufek tries the outside line of Montoya, he won't do it there. Sebastian just turns in, and Josh Dufek is out in the marbles. Loses time, loses about 3 car lengths. Montoya will not be intimidated. You know who his father is. You could see it right there with that move. Did not flinch, did Sebastian. There's Braschi in the background. A good drive from Francesco. Kirill Small, further back in the pack. Oh no, this is a weekend to forget. Again, he launches. It has all gone wrong for Kirill Small. In fact, that has brought out the red flag. Biermann will win 8 in a row. A huge crash down in Tamburello. Damage to the 7 Prema Power Team car. Gravel all over the circuit. With that, the red flag comes out. Biermann's won. Biermann, incredibly, has taken 8 in a row, we can say by default.
Yeah, really happy to take 3 wins, and yeah, it was an amazing result, and hopefully we can keep it up, as I said.
A post-race penalty for a technical infringement saw Biermann stripped of his race 3 victory. But regardless, Ollie still has a massive 97-point lead over Fornaroli in the championship. Montoya moves up to third on 118 points, 2 ahead of Tramnitz. Then it's Small, despite a disaster at Imola, still in 5th on 90, ahead of Dufek. With Biermann's disqualification from race 3, Bedrin now inherits his maiden race win to move into 7th in the series on 69 points. So the sun has set on another fantastic round here at the legendary circuit that is Imola. From here, we'll take a short break over the summer, but we'll be back at the fabulous Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 5. We'll see you then.